You ever click on a vocal cover expecting background noise, and then 5 minutes later you're investigating whether the singer is actually 3 different people standing on each other's shoulders wearing a trench coat? Because that's what happened here. I went in expecting a solid metal vocalist. I came out wondering if MAPHRA had somehow unlocked extra character slots. 1 minute she's channeling Amy Lee, the next she's doing Poppy, and suddenly I'm hearing Courtney LaPlante. At a certain point I didn't feel like I was watching a vocal cover anymore, I was watching vocal Grand Theft Auto. The screams are real, the cleans are real, the high notes are ridiculous. And somehow she switches styles faster than Netflix cancels a good show. So today we're answering one question. Does MAPHRA go hard, or did a Victorian ghost accidentally swallow every single vocalist in the room? Welcome to Does It Go Hard, where we break down horror movies and metal music based on energy using 5 brutally scientific categories: impact, momentum, conviction, atmosphere, and aftermath. Each scored 0 to 20, 100 points total, then we reveal the final verdict. Is it lifeless? Does it need more teeth? Does it strike? Does it go hard? Or in rare cases, does it go nuclear? Guys, let's start with impact, that oh my gosh, what am I watching factor. Because MAPHRA doesn't really warm up. She shows up like the volume knob was already set somewhere between illegal and someone unplugged the limiter. Doomed is the perfect example. It opens dark and heavy like somebody poured red wine into a thundercloud and convinced it to start a metal project. And from there, everything just lands. The screams, the cleans, the high notes. Not as separate moments either. It feels like one continuous vocal state that refuses to behave. She can move from gothic lows to soaring cleans to full distortion so effortlessly that eventually you stop tracking techniques altogether. It's like she has 30 vocal tabs open and somehow none of them are lagging. Then you get into End of You. I'm sorry, what? This is where things get a little bit suspicious. Because sounding like Amy Lee for one moment is impressive. Touching a poppy-like tone is impressive. Then suddenly there's this bite and this edge that brings Courtney LaPlante to mind and your brain just gives up trying to categorize it. Every attempt to put MAPHRA in a box leads to the same conclusion. This is just how she sounds, and that's impact. Not that she can do a lot of different things, it's that she moves between them so naturally that they stop feeling like different things at all. MAPHRA hits like a storm running multiple climates all at once. When every lie was kept so close. One thing is for certain here, MAPHRA's vocal covers leave an impact, but impact only gets your attention. Momentum is what keeps it. And vocally, MAPHRA has momentum for days. She doesn't just hit peaks, she knows how to get to them. Circle With Me is a great example here. She pulls back just enough to build that tension, then comes crashing back in with that kind of timing that makes you wonder if she secretly has the emotional blueprint for the entire song sitting right next to her. The control is absurd, like somebody driving through rush hour traffic and somehow hitting every single green light. That's the best, isn't it? And visually, she's fully committed too. Eyes closed, mouth wide, arms moving, completely locked into the music. The only thing working against her maybe is the format itself. Most of these covers are one angle, one take, one focus. It's like watching somebody cook a 5-course meal through a keyhole. You know something impressive is happening. You just don't always get the full picture. But honestly, her momentum isn't just inside the performances anymore, it's happening around them. Every upload seems to generate another wave of people asking, wait, who is this girl? This girl is popping off and I am here for it. At this point, it feels less like growth and more like gravity. MAPHRA moves like a wave that keeps rebuilding itself while you're still recovering from the last hit. Now here's the category where MAPHRA earns her money, because conviction isn't a technique, it is belief. And MAPHRA sells every line like she already knows how the story ends. Doomed is yet another great example of this. When she sings, "I think we're doomed," she doesn't sound worried, she sounds like she already saw the meteor. That's the difference. The screams never feel decorative and the cleans never feel cautious. Everything sounds intentional. Like she's not just performing the emotion, she's reliving it. Her silence cover might be the best example, and it might be my favorite in the whole catalog so far. Even when the arrangement pulls back, the commitment does not. The intensity just kind of changes shape. And honestly, this is why this style fits her so naturally. Some vocalists sound like they're visiting metal, MAPHRA sounds like she pays rent there. MAPHRA's covers feel like reading a diary entry that was never supposed to leave the drawer. Raw, vulnerable, and impossible to mistake for anything but real. Atmosphere here is where things get interesting when we're talking about MAPHRA, because MAPHRA absolutely does have an identity. Her look is unique in the way that it feels like a Victorian ghost got turned into a metal vocalist and handed a microphone. I mean, that's hard. The black lace, the makeup, the one-take presentation, it's memorable, it's hers, but Atmosphere isn't just aesthetics, it's world building. And compared to the vocals, the visual side feels a little underdeveloped. Most videos keep things simple. One angle, one performance, no real environmental storytelling, which works. The voice does a lot of the heavy lifting. But it also means that the atmosphere hasn't fully caught up to the vocals yet. Not because the identity isn't there, it absolutely is. I mean, you can recognize a MAPHRA thumbnail from across the room. The gothic aesthetic is established, the mood is established, the personality is established. What we're waiting for now is expansion. More visual storytelling, more world building, maybe original music, maybe larger scale productions, maybe a bigger canvas entirely, and she is already well on her way to reach all of those things. Because if this much atmosphere is already coming through in a one camera cover setup, I have a feeling we're still just seeing the prototype. MAPHRA's world feels like finding the doorway to a gothic castle and realizing the rest of it hasn't yet been built, but you know it's gonna be stunning. What's it say about me if I run away without you? And finally, what sticks? For me, it's the versatility. Every time I think I've figured out what MAPHRA does, she unlocks another setting. Silence left a huge impression on me. Same with Doomed. The Emptiness Machine showed off those darker, lower registers beautifully. And when Emily's section arrived, honestly, MAPHRA held her own far better than I expected. Would I still choose Emily for the official version? Yeah, because I love her so much. But MAPHRA absolutely came ready to play. Even Twisting the Knife, probably the weakest performance I watched, was only weaker relative to her own ridiculous standard. And that's the thing, when I look back at everything in her catalog, I don't remember one specific scream or one specific high note. I remember being constantly surprised. That's a rare quality. MAPHRA lingers like a black rose forcing its way through concrete, microphone in its teeth, and absolutely no interest in asking permission. Let you cut me open just to watch me bleed. So after the screams and the high notes and the vocal shape shifting and the moments where I genuinely question whether one human being should be allowed this many settings, where does MAPHRA actually land? Does she strike? Does she go hard? Does she go nuclear? Guys, let's tally it up. MAPHRA is so impressive. She absolutely goes hard because she makes difficult things look casual. The range is ridiculous, the conviction is real, and the versatility never feels like showing off. It feels natural, and that's a dangerous combination. Because most vocalists spend years building one signature weapon. MAPHRA keeps showing up with an entire arsenal. She's not just covering songs, she's stress testing them, pulling them apart, rebuilding them, then screaming through the owner's manual. That's hard. And after all the screams, shadows, and shape-shifting, the hardest thing about MAPHRA isn't figuring out what she can do, it's figuring out what she can't. But those are my thoughts. What do you guys think about MAPHRA? Do we have a superstar on our hands? Wow, guys, I am so impressed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And let me know what we should talk about in our next episode of Does It Go Hard? Love you guys. Thank you for watching, and catch me next time. Peace.